I'm Ryan Yamamoto. This is the Minute Cleanup underway in the Santa Cruz County town of Scotts Valley after a rare tornado touched down on Saturday. 5 people were injured, with 1 in the hospital. The small town saw trees toppled, power lines knocked over, and multiple cars overturned. The jury in the Momeni's murder trial will resume deliberations this afternoon. Jurors could have opted out of that trial this past Friday, but all asked the judge to stay on to try and come to a verdict. Momeni is accused of murdering Cash App founder Bob Lee in San Francisco. Oakland police are investigating a series of illegal sideshows from over the weekend. Police say they happened throughout the city. This is video from one of those sideshows last night at West Grand and Wakes Avenues. You can see spectators setting off fireworks. So far, no arrests have been made. The Bay Area's only primetime newscast at 8 and 9 p.m. on Pix Plus 44 Cable 12. I'm Ryan Yamamoto. This is The Minute.
You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
Heavy rain and winds impacted all the Bay Area over the weekend forecast. And now as we take a look at this morning lasting into this afternoon, it's wet up in the North Bay, and we're going to continue to see more of those showers sweep to the South Bay throughout this afternoon. This is just around lunchtime. Snow up in the Sierra, rain off into the East Bay, and more rain is expected down into the South Bay closer to around 1, 2 o'clock this afternoon. That'll also impact those South Bay communities anywhere close to Scotts Valley, where we saw that tornado just over the weekend. Now, heading into this afternoon, the winds are significantly lighter compared to over this weekend, where we got gusts up to around 70 miles per hour, but we're still left with cool and cloudy skies into the overnight hours tonight. That's leading us into the rest of this week with cloudier skies in the forecast for Tuesday and Wednesday too. Now, as we take a look at what we can expect today, it is a cold day for us today. We're talking about daytime highs only topping off in the low 50s in areas like Santa Rosa as we zoom in all the way over into Petaluma. Antioch topping off at 50 degrees exactly this afternoon. It's actually warmer along the coastline for us today at 56 degrees just near Half Moon Bay. So let's drop this and let's take a quick look at what we can expect as we head into the next 7 days. It'll stay cool and cloudy for us throughout the rest of this week, and then we get another splash of showers heading into our Saturday forecast, drying up a little bit more into the afternoon hours on Sunday. We continue to see daytime highs stay below average this afternoon, but it'll look a lot different as we head into the rest of this week, not only for our friends along the bay, but also for our inland areas too. Low 50s turning into low 60s as early as tomorrow.
Well, in Santa Cruz County, cleanup continues after a rare tornado swept through Scotts Valley, flipping cars and tearing down trees. Yeah, that's an EF1. People posted a video showing the funnel cloud in the city on Saturday, the 90-per-hour winds knocking down power lines and damaging some businesses. Our Dahl Lynn spoke to witnesses about what it was like when it touched down and what it's going to take to put things back together.
Oh my God. Okay, oh my God.
More than 24 hours later, still an unbelievable sight. Many Scotts Valley residents who saw the F1 tornado call it a mind-blowing experience.
I've lived in California my whole life and I've never seen anything like this.
It was a big roar and it truly sounded like a train.
I've never seen cars tossed like that. That was really, really unusual.
John Lettingham saw the twister as he was driving home just after 1:30 Saturday afternoon.
A funnel cloud go right over the car, and it was, I don't know, 3 stories high above my car maybe, and then it hit.
City officials say that funnel cloud turned into a tornado as it touched down and spun on Mount Herman Road for 1/3 of a mile.
Cars flipped over, people heard lamp poles down, everything you can imagine.
First responders and witnesses say powerful winds overturned 7 vehicles and injured 5 people. Most of them were drivers.
When it happened, I was kind of in shock. I wasn't really thinking about it. But like seeing those people flipped over in the cars and like just crawling out of their cars kind of like puts it into perspective.
Vice Mayor Derek Tim said as of Sunday afternoon, 1 person remained in the hospital.
We had cars that were tossed throughout this parking lot and the one across the street. And we had a CAL FIRE vehicle that was flipped. A large commuter van was flipped.
The vice mayor says the strong winds destroyed 15 traffic lights. It also uprooted a very large tree which landed on a middle school building.
This hit right in the center of town. Mount Herman Road, where it hit, is the 2nd busiest street in the entire Santa Cruz County area. So, and it's the most traveled. It hit right at 1:30 in the afternoon. Things were hopping in all our centers here. And so when the tornado came through, we got amazingly lucky. It really was a miracle that no one was killed.
John agrees. Very thankful, no fatalities. He's glad that PG&E and other utilities restored power and communication lines.
In addition to all the first responders, you saw people just stopping their cars and clearing the streets and helping each other. It was great.
Hours before, San Franciscans woke up to something they have never seen before. I got one on my phone. The National Weather Service issued a tornado warning around 6 a.m. on Saturday. Although a tornado did not materialize, heavy wind and heavy rain did cause some power outages across the city. The latest numbers from PG&E show a little more than 3,500 customers are still in the dark. PG&E says the rain today should not impact their efforts to restore power, but they also do not have an exact time frame on when the lights will get turned back on.
We've seen a lot of vegetation impacting our lines, trees down, wire down, that sort of thing. So if there's a conductor in the road, that sort of thing, crews will first and foremost make sure the scene is safe for the public and first responders.
Customers can always check PG&E's website for updates. Okay, now to Soda Springs near Lake Tahoe. Plenty of snow on the ground after this latest storm system, and the roads are slick. More is on the way, with Caltrans urging drivers to avoid travel if you're not prepared. And over the weekend, the conditions were much worse. Slick roads and numerous spinouts led to multiple shutdowns along I-80. Some Bay Area travelers heading to Tahoe and Reno were forced to pull off the highway as those conditions worsened at higher altitudes.
We were driving, we were having a great time, we were playing music, and then all of a sudden, blizzard, a whole blizzard. Yeah. And we were just stuck, and no one knew what to do. We were trying to turn around, and then our car was sliding back and forth.
Drivers caught in the storm said they urge others to hold off on hitting the road until conditions improve. And before sure you have the CBS News app downloaded, as that rain rolls in, you'll be able to get the very latest live radar and forecast right there, as well as on our website at kpix.com. Well, this afternoon, the jury reconvenes for day 7 of deliberations in the trial of Momeni. He's accused of murdering Cash App founder Bob Lee last April in San Francisco. Prosecutors say Momeni attacked Lee because he was angry about an incident involving Lee and his sister. His defense team argues he was acting in self-defense. After the 6th day of deliberations, jurors had a choice to opt out of the trial if they wanted to, but they instead asked for more time. Shannon Dugan, a defense attorney who has followed the proceedings from the courtroom, says jurors have had a lot of evidence to digest, but does expect progress to be made today.
From my perspective, I think it's a good thing the jury's taking a long time. It means they understand the gravity of the situation. I don't know if that's going to be a verdict of guilty and acquittal or a hung jury, but I suspect they're going to come back with something on Monday.
If the jury cannot come to an agreement, a hung jury would result in a mistrial, and the case would have to be retried from the beginning with a new jury. We will be ready to bring you the verdict whenever the jury does reach one. You can find us with all of our coverage of this trial on our website at kpix.com and the free CBS News app. Still ahead on CBS News Bay Area, cafe workers stepping in to prevent a robbery in San Francisco. We're going to hear how this brave barista became a hero. Plus, a new place to play at Stonestown Mall, the arcade that's been drawing in crowds. And we shine a spotlight on the SF Marin Food Bank and the life-saving work being done to help keep people fed this holiday season.
No verdict yet in the trial of the murder of Bob Lee. Defense attorneys closing the door on their case defending Momeni with a Hail Mary in their closing argument. Now it is up to the jury to weigh 21 days of testimony and thousands of pieces of evidence to determine whether they will convict Momeni of first-degree murder or second-degree murder or not guilty altogether.
Verdict Watch continues weeknights at 11 on KPIX.
Jose all the way over into Fremont will receive some pretty moderate rain as that continues to track off into the east. Luckily, after the South Bay gets their fair share of rain, we're clearing up as we head into the evening hours tonight. We could see some misty conditions along the North Bay coast, but other than that, we're drying up for the rest of this week, heading into this weekend too. So let me actually drop this real fast, and I want to show you the next 7 days. We're drying up as we head into our Thursday and Friday forecast this week, just to see another splash of showers into Saturday. It looks like we're going to dry up into Sunday's forecast, though, and then cloudy conditions on the back end of next week. I'll have more on that coming up in a bit. For now, over to you.
Well, in San Francisco, a man stormed into a cafe in the Mission District to steal a customer's backpack, spraying the man with mace as he tried to stop him. Then a barista jumped into action and took the would-be thief down until police arrived. Our Amanda Harry spoke with him and some customers who also tried to help.
Surveillance video caught the moment someone tried to rob a customer at Carlin's Cafe early Friday morning. Nick Grant was behind the counter when the masked man walked inside and went directly for a customer's backpack. That's when Grant sprung into action.
I realized he was in a situation where he needed help.
Things escalated quickly. You could see the man exchange punches before the masked man sprays bear mace at Grant.
Feeling breathing problems to this day.
Grant says it temporarily blinded him, and he still has injuries on his face and arm, but has no regrets. Right before the attempted robbery, Jim Carroll was walking with his wife to the gym. He saw the man masked and dressed in dark clothing walking towards them. He was worried they were going to get robbed, but says he just kept walking right into the cafe.
Without even thinking, I just ran towards the restaurant.
In the video, you can see Carroll run through the door and immediately tries to help Grant.
I was on the phone with 911 and I tried to assess the situation, figure out which one was the robber. Figured out which one it was and put my arm around his neck.
Grant then held the suspect down for more than 6 minutes, waiting for police to arrive. They've identified the suspect as 42-year-old Amir Moner of Concord. He was transported and booked in San Francisco County Jail for both this incident and other active warrants. Despite the scare, Grant and Carroll are grateful everyone is okay, and they've made new friendships through a situation that could have been tragic.
And I feel a new connection with my community. And the owner, Matt, is just awesome guy. And Nick's the real hero. I just stepped in and helped, but he's the hero.
Well, San Francisco Contemporary Jewish Museum is now closed for an entire year. Sunday was its last day to welcome visitors. The executive director says attendance and revenue have dropped by 50% since 2021. Staff layoffs are planned, but the museum will still host venue rentals during the closure. They emphasize this is not permanent, and they encourage the community to stay connected through their website.
We have a little programming coming up in the next few months. We are not disappearing from the community at all.
During the closure, the museum's directors will also focus on stabilizing its finances and reshaping its operations. Well, a new arcade is breathing new life into a San Francisco mall. John Ramos reports on how it's utilizing a different type of business to bring back customers.
In April, we told you about a plan to turn the largely empty parking lot behind Stonestown Galleria into housing, but they may want to hold off on that because the parking lot is once again full as the newest tenant here is making this the cool place to be. The mall is bustling with shoppers looking for holiday gifts, but there's something else going on here, and to find it, you have to go down into the basement to what used to be a Nordstrom's department store. Welcome to Round One, a cavernous entertainment arcade owned by a Japanese company that understands the American appetite for winning.
I really like arcade games. My cousin introduced me to Round One, and I couldn't really stop ever since.
Round One offers family bowling, air hockey, even a full bar for adults. But it is in the center of the room that it takes a page from Las Vegas. Lined up like slot machines is a huge collection of claw machines, with people spending money to try to take home a stuffed prize. But as Ethan Way discovered, it's not exactly a game of skill.
The strength of the claw, it's kind of like random. Sometimes you get a stronger claw and you just grab it. Sometimes you just gotta there's not really a trick, it's just kind of like luck. Sometimes it's cheaper to just buy this than to pay like hundreds of dollars to win these things. I don't know how much they cost. They probably cost like $10. I don't know.
And you think you've paid 50?
I would say close to around 50, like a bit above 50, yeah.
Ivan Guillermo discovered the same thing when he and his son Dylan tried to win a sleepy cat plushie.
Oh, almost.
Does it feel a little bit like you're in a casino or something?
It definitely feels like you're in a casino, for sure. Yeah.
And the house almost always wins, right?
The house always wins, yeah. You're spending a little bit more than what they're probably worth, yeah.
The claw always slips, like you can't get it.
But then, Dylan learned something about the allure of gambling as he struck gold on his next try.
He got it.
Which was sure to keep them coming back again. But for the older kids, there's another game that is spurring intense competition. Dance Dance Revolution, or DDR, has become an obsession for some, and 20-year-old Jacob Saldaño says his love of the game has brought him out of his shell.
It definitely did change my life. Like, now I'm like going out with so much people. I'm going out with my friends more. It's definitely a special place where me and my friends can, all de-stress from the stresses of adult life and have fun.
On this day, he was thrilled to set a new record for his chosen dance, what's known as his chart. And while he plays at a basic level, in the evening hours, young people fill the dance area with skilled dancers coming from all over the Bay Area to compete at the highest level. Jacob is convinced it is doing everyone some good, including the mall.
I think it's making malls more alive now. Ever since the pandemic started, it's like people are so cramped up. But now that we opened up an arcade at a place like this, it's definitely got some people more outside, and I love to see it.
There may be a lesson here. People may have found new ways to shop, but nothing beats the thrill of victory, especially if it includes a stuffed animal.
Looks like straight out of Shinjuku or Shibuya. Well, round one opened at Stonestown in November, marking its fourth Bay Area location. The company launched its first U.S. arcade back in 2010. Well, in Oakland, the police department now investigating a wild tide show that broke out on Sunday. Well, this happened around 6 o'clock in the evening. You just saw fireworks were also set off during the show. OPD responded swiftly, getting crowds and vehicles to leave the area. In a new twist in the legal fight over Oakland International Airport's new name, the Port of Oakland has filed an appeal against a court ruling that blocks the use of the name San Francisco Bay Oakland International Airport. Rolls right off the tongue. The decision to switch names earlier this year earned pushback from San Francisco International Airport. Attorneys argued that the rebrand infringed on SFO's trademark. In November, a federal judge sided with San Francisco and slapped Oakland with a temporary injunction. The appeal is expected to be heard in the coming months. Still ahead, the need is nonstop. We give you a look inside at how a San Francisco Marin food bank is trying to keep people fed over the holidays.
It's here, that time of year, when Bay Area homes get decked out for the holidays. All this month, KPIX is bringing you the stories of the coolest, brightest, and the most amazing holiday displays, and meeting the people making spirits brighter, one light at a time. Decked out for the holidays, all this month on KPIX and Pix Plus. Sponsored by C's Candy.
So as we head into the next couple hours, we'll continue to watch the storm track a little bit more to the south, but we are dealing with the brunt of the storm right now up in the North Bay. This includes areas like Occidental that usually receives heavy amounts of rain, and regardless, whenever it comes to these storms sweeping over those mountains, you head over to St. Helena, Yountville, down into Napa now. Napa's now starting to receive some of the heaviest rain as well. Just about 15-20 minutes ago, it was a little bit lighter, but we're watching this storm move quickly to the south. Areas like Mill Valley receiving that light rain all the way up into San Rafael. It'll look a lot different for you guys within the next half hour or so, because here's what's happening. We advance the clock from 7 a.m. all the way until 8:30. This slowly starts to tilt a little bit more to the south. San Francisco getting hit just into the morning hours too. We're actually going to see a little bit of a break up in the North Bay closer to lunchtime as our friends down in the South Bay now start seeing some heavy rain that lasts from 2 to around 3 o'clock. Now it wraps up into the overnight hours tonight. We dry up for the rest of this week, but more rain is right around the corner heading into this weekend. More on that in a bit. For now, over to you.
Well, food insecurity in the Bay Area is a problem all year long. That is why we're putting a spotlight on our Food for Bay Area Families drive to get people the supplies they need this holiday season. Veronica Macias reports from the San Francisco Marin Food Bank with what the food bank needs most this season.
The morning show.
Yeah, we're open, definitely.
After the loss of her husband, Maddie Rice found herself lonely, but she turned a corner when she arrived at the San Francisco Marin Food Bank.
I feel like I'm in family when I come here.
Not just for a sense of purpose.
Keep it clean. Okay, thank you.
But for the companionship it brought her. She's been volunteering for the past 5 years, and every day she's there, she fills her heart with a sense of belonging.
It's a feel-good kind of thing. I go home exhausted, but very satisfying and very worthwhile.
Maddie is just one of the many dedicated volunteers helping to run this shop at the food bank's Marin location.
We haven't found any peanut butter and jam yet, right?
Here, they're feeding programs that in turn feed families in the Northern Bay Area. But the need is greater than ever.
Donate, donate, please donate. We need your help more than ever. It's gotten worse since I started 5 years ago. It's amazing to me how many more families need food.
With the government pandemic relief programs ending, families are feeling the strain more than ever. Maddie, who loves being around people, wishes those donation drive-thrus could come back.
I used to do 4 days a week. I've cut back to 3 days because they discontinued Saturday, which was my favorite day when the families drove up and we put the boxes in the trunk and the kids and the whole family. We got to know everybody.
The camaraderie here is what takes the monotony out of this type of work, and it's what keeps her and other volunteers going on their feet for hours as they check the expiration dates and restock.
People here are great, and we know that we're doing something special. You know, we're helping people, and I think everybody should think about doing that.
One of the things I love the most about our volunteers is they fully embrace this idea of community. And whether it's smoke-filled skies, rainy days, 100-degree temperatures, they always show up.
Even something as simple as helping assemble boxes counts. Every hour of donated time makes a difference. Don't think that you have to be like Maddie, though, who knows this food bank inside and out.
I live here, basically.
Well, to learn how you can donate food or money and volunteer your time, you can use a QR code right there on your screen or head to our website at kpix.com/give. For every dollar raised, a Bay Area family will receive 2 meals. Coming up in our next half hour in CBS News Bay Area, new rules to try to help stabilize California's home insurance market. Why some critics say this effort to fix the crisis could backfire. And how 2 lifelong friends who met in foster care are hoping to equip young people in the same situation for future success.
The coolest microclimate today is in the valleys of the North Bay, where the fog is still hanging on.
This environment lets us take our viewers inside the weather. Microclimates, the fog, the rain, we can explain in 3 dimensions and show you what's going to happen.
The offshore wind on our real-time map showing that east to west movement.
The way everyone else is doing weather on television is like riding on horseback. This is space travel.
Virtual weather on KPIX. You've just got to see it.
I'm Ryan Yamamoto. This is The Minute. The jury in the Momeni's murder trial will resume deliberations this afternoon. Jurors could have opted out of the trial this past Friday, but all asked the judge to stay on to try to come to a verdict. Momeni is accused of murdering Cash App founder Bob Lee in San Francisco. The Sonoma-Marin rail transit system remains closed to passengers today. It was closed over the weekend to prepare for the opening of its Petaluma North Station, but it extended the closure due to damage from the storm. A new program geared toward preventing homelessness begins today in Sonoma County. It's called Keep People Housed and brings nearly $4 million in funding. Organizers say they hope to save as many as 400 households from losing shelter. The Bay Area's only primetime newscast at 8 and 9 p.m. on Pix Plus 44 Cable 12. I'm Ryan Yamamoto, and this is The Minute.
You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
Heavy rain and winds impacted all the Bay Area over the weekend forecast. And now as we take a look at this morning lasting into this afternoon, it's wet up in the North Bay and we're going to continue to see more of those showers sweep to the South Bay throughout this afternoon. This is just around lunchtime. Snow up in the Sierra, rain off into the East Bay, and more rain is expected down into the South Bay closer to around 1, 2 o'clock this afternoon. That'll also impact those South Bay communities anywhere close to Scotts Valley where we saw that tornado just over the weekend. Now, heading into this afternoon, the winds are significantly lighter compared to over this weekend, where we got gusts up to around 70 miles per hour, but we're still left with cool and cloudy skies into the overnight hours tonight. That's leading us into the rest of this week with cloudier skies in the forecast for Tuesday and Wednesday, too. Now, as we take a look at what we can expect today, it is a cold day for us today. We're talking about daytime highs only topping off in the low 50s in areas like Santa Rosa as we zoom in all the way over into Petaluma. Antioch topping off at 50 degrees exactly this afternoon. It's actually warmer along the coastline for us today at 56 degrees just near Half Moon Bay. So let's drop this and let's take a quick look at what we can expect as we head into the next 7 days. It'll stay cool and cloudy for us throughout the rest of this week, and then we get another splash of showers heading into our Saturday forecast, drying up a little bit more into the afternoon hours on Sunday. We continue to see daytime highs stay below average this afternoon, but it'll look a lot different as we head into the rest of this week, not only for our friends along the bay, but also for our inland areas too. Low 50s turning into low 60s as early as tomorrow.
In Southern California, evacuation orders now lifted for nearly 4,000 people in the Malibu area as firefighters make more progress on the Franklin fire. Those flames destroyed at least 19 buildings, including 8 homes. Authorities have now lifted all road closures for residents, but urge them to drive cautiously as crews remain active. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Wildfires like the one in Malibu have also been fueling a home insurance crisis over the past few years. Major insurance companies have dropped tens of thousands of policyholders, largely in fire-prone areas. Now the state's insurance commissioner is putting in new regulations that he says will help homeowners, but the measure has its critics who tell Da Lin it will also have the opposite effect.
The Oakland Hills are scenic and peaceful, but insurance companies say what makes it beautiful is also what elevates the fire danger. Too many trees and vegetation.
How much is my premium going to be, and am I getting dumped? Yeah, sure, I worry about it all the time, especially because everybody around me is getting canceled.
Homeowner Katherine Johnson lives in a house that was rebuilt after the 1991 Oakland Hills fire.
It went up from $5,000 a year to $7,000 a year for my last payment period. And I'm just crossing my fingers that I'm not going to get canceled when the term expires. That's my biggest fear.
Many of her neighbors are on the FAIR plan, which is California's insurer of last resort. Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara announced on Friday his plan to allow companies to use catastrophe models and climate change to set higher rates got the approval. In exchange, companies promised to sell policies in areas with the greatest fire risks, areas like wine country, the Santa Cruz Mountains, and the Oakland Hills.
This is the first time in California that there's a requirement for insurance companies to write policies, and we're going to be enforcing that.
Michael Soller is the state's deputy insurance commissioner. He says the new regulation will require companies to try to cover 85% of homes in designated fire-prone zip codes. But critics say it's got too many loopholes.
The regulation allows insurance companies to use secret algorithms to raise rates unaccountably. Californians will be paying more but not have any greater access to coverage.
Carmen Balber with the Consumer Watchdog Group says the insurance companies will make more money, but the crisis will remain.
What the insurance commissioner has done is fold to the insurance industry's blackmail.
We're focused on bringing solutions to Californians, bringing more policies into the market so that the FAIR Plan isn't the only option for people. Consumer Watchdog is bringing cynicism.
Homeowners say they're desperate for change. This homeowner even thought about moving to a low fire risk area.
We expect that it will be canceled. We hope that maybe this new development will not be otherwise.
Catherine says she's willing to try the new model if it can increase affordability and accessibility.
Hopefully it would attract some of the carriers that have made an exodus. Maybe they'll come back and we'll have a more competitive market.
Commissioner Lara's office says the new regulations is part of a larger strategic plan to reform the insurance industry. They're still working on other parts of his sustainable insurance strategy. Applications open statewide this Wednesday for a new e-bike incentive project. That program offers a $2,000 credit toward the purchase of an e-bike. To apply, you must be a California resident, at least 18 years old. Household income must be no more than $45,000 for individuals, $61,000 for a family of two, and no more than $93,000 for a family of four.
These folks are folks who might have older cars that are problematic, maybe higher pollution rates, and so they can, switch some of their trips to this e-bike, or folks that don't have cars at all that are often relying on friends and family members for rides. And this really will open up a lot of opportunity to get them to work, to school, to all the things they need to do in their life.
The $2,000 credit will essentially be a discount at the point of sale. E-bikes typically cost between $1,000 and $6,000. Well, two friends who learned to make coffee while in foster care together are turning their skills into big business. As our Suji Nam reports, they are also on a mission to uplift the next generation of young people in the foster care system.
Welcome to Shane's Coffee.
It's a dream that is becoming a reality for Luke Fleming and Will Carlson, starting a trailer coffee shop that will travel all over the Bay Area. But it's more than just coffee. Luke and Will's passion brewed in a bit of an unexpected way.
He showed us how to be baristas, how to operate a point-of-sale system.
They got their first job through their transitional home program. Luke and Will met in foster care when they were just teenagers.
Loves this story. Was so hungry that he pretended to eat an eraser and demanded that we have some food. And I was really afraid at the time. I was in a new city. And when he did that, I immediately felt at home and got to laugh.
One laugh turned into nearly 20 years of laughter. Luke and Will both graduated from Sonoma State University and work as clinical social workers full-time. But through it all, their love for coffee never stopped.
Every waking minute outside of the day job of being a social worker, come home, pull 100 shots, do 100 latte arts, and just, keep that practice going like anything else.
The idea soon dawned on them. How can they turn something as simple as a first job into something so much more?
The ability to have a job kind of reset everything, where it wasn't just that we're troubled youth or foster youth.
And they wanted to find a way to instill that belief into others.
Often receiving services through the foster care system or systems like it, that it can be stigmatizing.
And so they plan to hire people with disabilities, mental illnesses, and those in the foster care system, all at Shane's Coffee.
Shane was a best friend of mine from when I was younger, who unfortunately passed away. He also struggled with some mental health challenges. But Shane kind of had the effect on people where if he would walk into a room, everyone felt welcome.
Luke and Will soon began fundraising online and brought this idea right to where their story began, their foster home at the Valley of the Moon Children's Foundation in Sonoma County.
They have gotten this far in their careers, in their lives, being virtually vulnerable and at risk.
Laura Colgate with the foundation said an anonymous donor was moved by Luke and Will's passion and recently donated $60,000 to fund their coffee trailer.
Work with the Department of Rehabilitation and train people while giving back to the community and raising funds for Shane's Coffee is nothing short of a miracle in my mind.
Luke and Will plan to open their shop in August of next year.
We want to be at farmers markets, we want to be at events, we want to be, at festivals.
In hopes that their employees can gain real-life skills and move on to greater things just like they did.
I'm a former UCLA Bruin for master's degree, and you went to...
I'm a Berkeley Bear.
Living the motto that no matter your past, anything is possible.
It starts with coffee, great. If we can get into other things like treatment, therapy, whatever it might be. But the ultimate goal, I think, in Shane's legacy, I'm comfortable saying that, is that we really want to help people.
One cup of coffee can and will change someone's life just as much as it changed theirs.
And there you go.
And to learn more about how to help those in foster care, you can visit the Valley of the Moon's Children's Foundation website. Breaking news right now from Wisconsin. There's just been a deadly school shooting. Police just gave an update minutes ago. They say 4 people, including a child, have been killed, and the shooter, who was a student at the school, is also dead. Police say 7 others are injured. That shooting happened at the Abundant Life Christian School in Madison. The school has about 400 students from kindergarten all the way to high school. Police say they will release more information as it comes in. And a Bay Area Grammy Award winner who introduced tabla to a global audience has died. That's Zakir Hussain of San Anselmo, who won 3 Grammys this year for Best Global Music Performance, Best Global Music Album, Best Contemporary Instrumental Album. Hussain is considered the greatest tabla player of the generation. Tabla is a pair of hand drums popular in Indian classical music. In a statement, his family said he died from chronic lung disease at a hospital in San Francisco. Zakir Hussain was 73 years old. Well, up next, there's still a long shot, but the Niners are keeping their postseason dreams alive. There's still a chance. What it would take them to make the playoffs.
It's an awesome feeling. It's gratifying. It touches my heart.
It's my first time, but I'm also kind of scared.
Yeah, buddy.
This is just a way to make the world a better place.
like San Jose all the way over to Fremont will receive some pretty moderate rain as that continues to track off into the east. Luckily, after the South Bay gets their fair share of rain, we're clearing up as we head into the evening hours tonight. We could see some misty conditions along the North Bay coast, but other than that, we're drying up for the rest of this week, heading into this weekend too. So let me actually drop this real fast, and I want to show you the next 7 days. We're drying up as we head into our Thursday and Friday forecast this week, just to see another splash of showers into Saturday. It looks like we're going to dry up into Sunday's forecast, though, and then cloudy conditions on the back end of next week. I'll have more on that coming up in a bit. For now, over to you.
Well, the Niners could have been eliminated from playoff contention on Sunday, but as Vern Glenn shows us, San Francisco's faint postseason hopes, very faint, are still alive.
This is the Audi Red and Gold Report.
It's hard to find positives with the 49ers right now, but they did manage to make it through the weekend without being eliminated from the playoffs.
I'm not dead. Yeah, he says he's not dead. Yes, he is. I'm not.
They're still alive. If they win out and get a lot of help, the Seahawks or Rams have to lose their final 3 games. Arizona can't reach 9 wins, and the Commanders also need to lose out.
We're going to get away for 3 days and come back, and I mean, I know mathematically I still believe we have a chance, but I want to come back and play better football and challenge the character of our team.
We're going to find out who wants to be here the next few weeks. Obviously, it's slim. If you're healthy, you should play, and I think momentum created in the next few games could be really big for the offseason.
With the Red and Gold Report, I'm Vern Glenn.
Coming up, landmarks lit up across San Francisco, and we're going to take behind the scenes of these holiday shows all across the city.
into the next couple hours, we'll continue to watch the storm track a little bit more to the south, but we are dealing with the brunt of the storm right now up in the North Bay. This includes areas like Occidental that usually receives heavy amounts of rain, and regardless, whenever it comes to these storms sweeping over those mountains, you head over to St. Helena, Yountville, down into Napa now. Napa's now starting to receive some of the heaviest rain as well. Just about 15-20 minutes ago, it was a little bit lighter, but we're watching this storm move quickly to the south. Areas like Mill Valley receiving that light rain all the way up into San Rafael. It'll look a lot different for you guys within the next half hour or so, because here's what's happening. We advance the clock from 7 a.m. all the way until 8:30. This slowly starts to tilt a little bit more to the south. San Francisco getting hit just into the morning hours too. We're actually going to see a little bit of a breakup in the North Bay closer to lunchtime as our friends down in the South Bay now start seeing some heavy rain that lasts from 2 to around 3 o'clock. Now it wraps up into the overnight hours tonight. We dry up for the rest of this week, but more rain is right around the corner heading into this weekend. More on that in a bit. For now, over to you.
Well, we're a little week away from Christmas, a time when families come together for the holidays that kicks the fight to end hunger into overdrive. As food banks work to meet the rising demand, our Max Darrow shows us the partnership in Silicon Valley that is expected to make a big difference.
Second Harvest in Silicon Valley helps provide food for 1 in 6 people in Silicon Valley. That's San Mateo County and Santa Clara County. And when things get tough for people, food budgets are often the very first thing to go. But there are people in our community who are helping fight this silent crisis, including Applied Materials. And we have Sarah from Applied Materials here, and you have a check for 64 million meals?
Yes, 64 million meals over the lifetime of the partnership with Second Harvest since 1991.
That's incredible. How do you end up contributing something like this to Second Harvest?
A partnership, being community members and partnership in the Silicon Valley, but also we have an annual campaign called the Fight Against Hunger that we do every year right around this time. And this year we're aiming to beat what we raised last year, which is $1.71 million.
And why do you guys step up to give like this?
We believe in being responsible community members. It's one of our values at Applied Materials, responsibility and integrity, and we have to give back where we live and work.
And so Leslie Bacho over here, you are with Second Harvest, and I'm going to just pivot real quick. Applied Materials has this partnership. This is a long-standing thing. How important is this for families here in Silicon Valley?
Well, it's really critical. We're so grateful for long-time support like Applied Materials, and we're just really, to solve hunger, it takes all of us in this community coming together. And so we're grateful for people's donations, large and small. It's a way you can make a real difference right here locally for all of your neighbors who are struggling to make ends meet right now.
Making a difference in our own backyard. Leslie, thank you. Sarah, thank you. And if you want to help out and contribute, head to our website, kpix.com/give, or you can scan that QR code right on your screen.
Here at KPIX, we're helping you get decked out for the holidays, showing you some of the best light shows all around the Bay Area and the people behind them. Let's Glow SF just wrapped up its run, lighting up landmarks all across San Francisco. This light projection project is the largest in the country as it spans several locations around the city. Our Amanda Harry got a look at the light show and the work that goes into getting it all set up.
For 2 magical weeks in December, light displays dot the city of San Francisco, but they aren't without a lot of hard work.
We do hole 8 when these things go up.
And are these already at the angles you want? Hours of moving projectors, dragging cables, and months of planning go into putting on the holiday projection arts festival, Let's Glow SF.
So there's a lot that goes into it.
Is it worth it?
For sure, of course it's worth it.
Senior production manager at A3 Visual, Justin Middleton, has been a part of the project since the beginning. Despite all the time and effort he spends setting up and guiding people to get it all just right.
And then this one can go in here, right?
Every year, he has no hesitation about continuing to be a part of the project.
It's gonna go like right here. Community involvement and being family and friendly is something that has been needed.
In 2021, the Downtown SF Partnership was looking for something to help the city re-emerge from lockdown. That's when they found A3 Visual and came up with the concept for Let's Glow SF.
Throughout the world, projection mapping as a whole is actually, and light arts in general, are very, very popular. It's just kind of taking off in the U.S., and we hope to be a catalyst for that.
The project quickly became the country's largest holiday projection event. In 2024, the event includes 8 locations featuring large-scale animated light installations. One of those locations is the Ferry Building. Melissa Buckminster with the Downtown SF Partnership says it was very important to them that the event was free.
We really pride ourselves on making our events and activations accessible for everybody.
And Buckminster says year after year, the feedback gets better and better, benefiting not only those who visit, but people in the city.
Whether it's from attendees that are enjoying, a night out on the town, looking at the shows, going to local businesses, or the owners and operators of those local businesses saying, we're seeing 2 times the number of customers as we would on a normal evening.
The show lasts just 10 nights. Middleton lives in the North Bay, but he makes sure he gets down to SF for one of those nights to look around and watch people take in his work.
And somewhere right here will be, a father and a mother with their children, and the kids will be pointing up, and there will be a gaze of wonder that none of us have had in a very, very, very long time. And that is what this is all about. It's not about me. It's not about any of the other people here, except for the kids, really. That's what this is all about.
Creating holiday memories that will last a lifetime through projection art.
We will showcase all of our decked out for the holiday stories in our special shows on Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day. Well, thanks for streaming CBS News Bay Area. I'm Ryan Yamamoto. We'll be right back with your First Alert forecast and a look at your top stories.